We are live, my girls. Come on in here. Welcome to my office. Listen to me today. If you are somebody that struggles with cravings, if you're somebody that never feels full, or you're full for a second and then you're starving, if you're someone that struggles in particular with belly fat, by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly how to fix it. Can you imagine stopping quelling cravings before they send you straight to stupid binging? That's what we're doing today. So let's get going. Let's talk about this. Number one, what does this and this have to do with stopping this? Listen, girls, I was in the grocery store yesterday. I didn't have enough of this. I walked by an end cap full of Lucky Charms and I was like, those look fantastic. And they were like chocolate version Lucky Charms. So today, what I'm going to teach you is how this is all connected, all of this, and how you can use this to stop this. It's actually quite straightforward and quite simple. So let's go. I'm going to talk to you about a client of mine named Lori, who could be a million clients, who could be me. And that is this. She struggled to get her protein in. It was just a challenge. Her natural inclination, similar to me, and a lot of you, Sonia, I see you on here, girl. A lot of us are more drawn to vegetables and carbs, and to get protein in. Listen, I'm a coach and I forget to get my protein in if I'm not being super intentional about it. And that was Lori. And so she ate clean most of the time until, and you tell me if this rings a bell, the starvation hit like mad hungry, right? And that typically led, or it could have, if it wasn't starvation, it could have been like a craving, like, oh, I've got to have some chocolate, or I've got to, whatever. So craving or starving. And that typically led to binging. And that binging typically led to gaining weight. We're going to go into that a little bit more. So today, I just gave out 150 protein guides, more than that. If you didn't get one and you want to know exactly what your protein requirement is and how to employ it so that you get stronger, so you build muscle and you can lose fat, then put guide and I'll send that over to you. I'm not going to dig too deep into that because it's all in the guide, but today I'm going to connect protein to being sated and full all day and to weight loss in particular. So look at all these people here with me, Beth and Brandy and Katie and Janice and Sonia. Good. Talk to me. You know I love it. I don't ever see comments until way later. And that's okay. Whatever. As long as you're with me and I'm helping you, that's all I care about. So these were the symptoms for Lori. She was starving all the time. She was binging and couldn't quite figure out why. She had crazy cravings. And then the other thing that was happening is that she was getting like little injuries here and there and like body aches and low energy. Now, listen to me. There is a doctor or 5 million who immediately would give her a prescription for, prescription strength ibuprofen. Body aches? Oh, here, girl, let me fix that. Or injuries? Like, yeah, like just stop exercising and here's some, painkillers of some sort. Anti-inflammatories, for instance. Like cravings, I cannot tell you the amount of women who are super low on protein, have these cravings, have the starvation thing that hits them, and they get prescribed, listen to me, a stinking appetite suppressant. And I'm not talking about the weight loss in particular, but there are other drugs that will serve as a low-grade appetite suppressant. No one is asking, how's your protein intake? So let's talk about the role of protein in all of this. In weight maintenance or loss, we're going to talk about protein in blood sugar, And this is and then by the end, I'll give you concrete ways to employ protein so that your everyday life is affected positively, meaning you're not going to crave crap anymore, like this. Yes, monster family box of Fruit Loops in my pantry. Okay, ready to roll? This is how it works. Protein, number one, takes longer to digest. So it's literally sitting in your body a little bit longer, burning a little bit slower. Now, the first thing that does is it speeds up your metabolism because your body's having to work harder to process that versus a daggone Fruit Loop, which takes 30 seconds and is stored as fat, right? So that's just the first practical, logical thing that protein does in your body, is it sits right here. Now, the other thing that it does is that it helps, because of that slow process, it levels out, it keeps your blood sugar stable. So when you eat Fruit Loops or you starve yourself, whatever it is, your blood sugar's low, you spike it with a Fruit Loop, and then it plummets, and you're like, oh, I'm so hungry, right? You freak out. The hunger is mad. What protein does is it keeps your blood sugar right here. So there is no crazy starvation. So this is how it typically works. You're low on protein because you're a veggie girl. You're a carbs girl. And then what happens is the blood sugar will drop, and then we do not crave broccoli. Tell me I'm wrong, girls. We don't crave broccoli when we're starving. Give me a head of broccoli. No, we typically go straight for processed, quick, super tasty junk. Am I wrong? So this is what happens then. I don't know why, but science has proven then that processed stuff is stored as fat. But not only is just general body fat, but processed food that we are typically craving, that we typically binge on, is stored as stinking belly fat in particular. It goes straight to your gut, right? We're gonna reverse engineer that. Let me look at comments. Let me see. Yes, everyone. Doctors are not trained very much in nutrition. I found that, yes, doctors don't get a lot of nutrition training. It's sad. All right, so Katie is totally identifying with all this. I'm glad it's me and you, Katie, Fruit Loops. So here we go. Let's reverse engineer it. You ready? So if we're trying to get rid of body fat, belly fat in particular, and it's coming on because we're eating processed junk, and we're eating processed junk because we're daggone hungry, right? Or because we crave it. I can't help it. And you know what? You're kind of right that your brain is telling you, give me this quick processing stuff, I'm dying, right? So it's almost like it is the right reaction that your body's having, but we can fix it by changing low protein to the amount of protein that you should be getting. So if we reverse engineer it, we go from belly fat from processed food. The processed food we ate because we were craving and starving ourselves, and it all starts with protein. So, okay, protein. And I want to show you something. This is literally, my husband refuses to eat any more than like 1 day old, freshly grilled chicken. So we keep this in our fridge all the time. We always have sources of protein around in the house, in the pantry, because we are both weightlifters, number one, but we also know the deal. If we don't get it in, we're gonna stink and eat Fruit Loops. So, okay. The other thing that protein does, and then we'll move into the practical how, is this. It balances and I revisited this and learned so much just even last night, or was reminded. Protein's role in hormone balance is massive. And so if you, listen to me, if you are low protein and then you're starving because your blood sugar is all over the place, that will jack up your ghrelin and your leptin, which is your appetite hormones. That will jack up your cortisol level, which is your stress hormone, and all of that leads to weight gain. So it's just incredible the role that this macronutrient plays in your health and in your body and in your weight loss. So let's go on practical application. Questions, I'm here. Katie says, I didn't know that about belly fat. It is fascinating that junk food leads to belly fat. Alcohol leads to belly fat. That's where the whole beer belly thing comes from. It's fascinating science, really. So, okay, practically, Patty, tell me how the heck to do this, right? The first thing I want you to do is figure out exactly how much protein you require. That's essential. There's no guessing allowed, especially if you're over 40, because again, and we've talked about how it plays an integral role in all of the things. Your muscle strength, your muscle building, your muscle maintenance, huge, your bone health. Therefore, all of these lead to metabolism stuff. The muscle stuff leads to metabolism health. So it is absolutely essential that you're not being like, well, 40 grams is probably enough. I don't know. I ate a chicken breast. No, I need you to figure out exactly how much. How do I do that, Patty? You get the guide. If you want the guide, I gave 150 out last week. Just put guide and I'll give it to you. And there's a really quick formula in there for you to figure out what you require. So that's step number 1 to getting rid of belly fat and cravings. How much protein do I need? Number 2, I want you to eat a protein with a high quality complex carb. Talk about that in a second. Every 2.5 to 3.5 hours. So what that does, and you've heard me say this before, I'm revisiting this, but what that does is it keeps your blood sugar here, as opposed to eating. Remember, we grew up eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you had to sit there till it was all done. But breakfast, you ate breakfast, and then you were starving, and then you ate lunch, and you were starving, right? So we don't want to do that. What I want you to do is basically eat 3 meals. Think of it, if you want to think of it this way, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then add 2 snacks in between. This is my snack in between. You can do whatever shake you want to. You can pair it with a little bit of fruit. The other thing that makes, here I'm stepping out of the screen because I'm reaching I had my son go grab one of these. These protein bars, not this brand in particular, but protein bars, shakes, things like that are portable will help you stay on track with your protein requirement. It's easy to sit down at home and eat a chicken breast. It's not so easy to take a chicken breast in your car, although I've done it. So have portable sources of protein. So figure out how much protein you need. If you want the guide, put guide. Number 2, once you figure that amount out, I want you to divide it between 5 or 6 small meals in your day. So you can put a little bit more at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or you can do an even amount. But as long as you meet that requirement by the end of the day, not dumping it all in at the end of the day, then you're not going to have cravings. I'm telling you right now, unless you have some crazy weird, vitamin deficiency, or you're eating, what was it, nurses? Remember in nursing school, we learned about the vitamin deficiency where they were eating drywall, plaster. Anyway, unless you are seriously got some clinical issue where you're craving something your body is lacking, the cravings are normally just your blood sugar dropping and you going, daggone, I want some Lucky Charms, right? Like I did yesterday, but I didn't buy them. And then what I want to tell you as far as, and ask me questions about that method, it's super easy, but it really does work to just keep your blood sugar stinking stable. That's all that it takes. And this is the thing, is the cravings, sometimes we do just want something yummy, and it is not broccoli, and it is not chicken, and that's okay. I've always taught you that there is no good food and there's no bad food. It's all just food, right? But we don't want to end up binging because our blood sugar's all over the place because we don't know what we're doing with our protein. What I want to tell you is that one way to kind of nip both the craving for something yummy that's not broccoli and get your protein is things like this. Girls, nowadays, they have made this stuff taste like Chick-fil-A milkshakes and stuff, you know? Do I want you to have real food most of the time? Yes. This is also processed, this stuff, but it's convenient and sometimes it meets a need. I'm going to talk a little bit about that next week, because sometimes there are swaps that we can make that are still healthy and fit within our calorie guardrails and meet our protein requirements, etc. That are a little bit of cheat in the way of, again, it's not a single ingredient food, but does it meet a need and keep us on track? Yeah, so that's where protein shakes and protein bars fall into the spectrum. So questions. He says it's all connected. Yep, it is all connected. Michelle Owens, hi my girl. What type of protein bar do you recommend? This is what I want to tell you about this. Protein bars, they're tricky because like this brand in particular, it's backwards for you guys, sorry. But the Power Crunch, for instance, is number one, they are meal replacement bars if they have carbohydrates in them. So watch that. And this is 220 calories. That's a lot. So the first thing that I'll teach you about protein bars, I don't have one brand I recommend, but let me teach you what to look for. Number one, the more natural you can go, the better. Like RX bars are unbelievable. There's like 3 ingredients, it's all natural, and you can buy the protein version. Kind protein bars, same thing. So the more natural you can get, the better. Things like this are full of artificial sugars, which taste fantastic, but they also double me over in gut pain. So you have to be not eating this all the time. This is a treat. This is a convenience. So what I want you to do in looking for your protein bar is go as natural as you can, number one. Number two, if you can't go natural and you're at Wawa on a road trip, like grab one of these, but just be aware of the calories, number one, because you don't need 220 calories likely. This is for a dude. But you might figure out your calories and I'll help you if you want me to. But look at the calories, look at the ingredients, and just know that you really, at each meal, depending on your requirement, this can be a smaller, like if you have, let's say, this can be 10 grams or 20 grams of protein, and at dinner, go eat your 30. Do you know what I mean? This is just to tide you over. So look for artificial sugars. I don't like a lot of them. If there are some, don't do them very often, and then go as natural as you can, and then watch the calories. So that's what I would say about that. Sorry, that was a long explanation. What do you look for, Katie? Yeah, I just answered that. These Owen shakes, I give these to my clients straight up right when they start the program, only because it's the brand that I found that tasted the best, and they are all natural. There's no artificial sweeteners, and it's non-dairy. So when you're looking, but I will tell you that vegan protein you need more of in order to meet the requirement. It's just not as efficient as animal protein. So like whey, for instance, or chicken. So yes, so when you're buying shakes and bars, just look at the ingredient list and go as whole as you can and as clean as you can, no artificial sugars, and then watch the calories. So she says, I get most of my protein at dinner. Okay, what I want you to do, girls, listen to me. If you're somebody, in fact, I just had a friend yesterday say, I eat 2 eggs for breakfast, and then I have chicken for dinner or fish. Is that enough? And the answer is no. And the reason why is A, it's just not enough. You need more portions. And And unless you're in 5th grade. That's what I told her. And then the second thing is this is so important. Remember, we're spreading it out all day long. That's what keeps you from craving and binging and starving and all the bad things. So you can meet your requirement all in one meal, which is probably going to give you a big fat bellyache, but it doesn't suit our purposes for losing weight and for maintaining our sanity in grocery store end caps. Does it make sense? So, okay, any other questions? This is a quick live today. But listen, as soon as Lori, my client, started meeting her protein requirement with me, absolutely the weight came off. She was another one of my 25-pounder girls in 16 weeks. And then this is the thing, is she felt better. Because there's no starving on and off all day long. And then you tell me I'm wrong. You get to where you're starving because you're low protein, you don't know it. And then you feel guilty because I can't have that. I'm not supposed to have Fruit Loops, right? All that guilt and shame and confusion and feeling physically like crap goes away. So she felt better. Her body aches and injuries, little tiny injuries, stopped because her muscles were being fed. So it's just, it was a huge success story, and you can have that same success story. But let's treat it like this, and then I'll let you go. I want you to treat it like an experiment. Just see how you feel. When I'm going to be honest, I have to work hard at being intentional about protein. But when I'm low on protein, like consistently, I've just fallen off the wagon. I lose muscle so fast. When I work out, I'm not as strong. I start to get joint and, muscle type aches. And I just don't feel good. I don't know how bad I feel until I start meeting my requirement with conveniences like this, with a lot of this. And I just am like, gosh, I feel so much better and I'm so much stronger in the gym and my muscles look like they're not atrophying, right? So I want you to test out what I'm saying and see what happens and report to me. You're gonna lose weight. The belly fat will stop because you won't be eating all the junk food. And then you'll lose weight because you won't be binging. So I'm excited for you to do the protein experiment with me. So any last minute questions? No, okay. Katie, you are the best giving comments. Michelle, I'll send you a guide. Anybody else want a guide? I'll give it to you. I think most of you who watch me on the regular probably already have it. I'm going to be reaching out to make sure you're okay and that you figured out your amount. It's essential not to guess at that. And that formula is too easy to not just do the mathing and figure out what you need, right? That's so important at our age. So, okay, girls, I love you. I'm with you. I want you to, what do I always tell you? There's no good food. There's no bad food. It is all just food. So keep it between the guardrails in moderation. And I want you to enjoy your life. If you are overweight and you feel like it is hopeless, if you feel shame because you feel like, okay, I've done it again. Here I am again. That stops. I'm with you. You have support. You have power. You have tools. And if you need help employing them, reach out to me. Stay in the group. But you have to just hear me say this. You are beautiful. And you are strong. And you are capable of doing this. You can, it makes me cry. You can get healthy. You can. But start today with what I'm giving you. Just start here by meeting your protein requirement and just see how you feel and see what it does to your eating habits. So I love you girls. I have a great weekend and I will be back next week just like you. See ya. Bye.